I am on the home stretch of wrapping up the LS swap on my 1977 K10 here. Last week I finished the fuel system. I replaced the driver's side tank with one from like an 87 K10 that's good for fuel injection. I also upgraded the sending unit with a QFS product. It has AN fittings built onto the sending unit, and it comes with a fuel pump that's good for like 500 or 600 horsepower, which is plenty for the kind of trouble we're trying to get into. So the only thing I have left is to finish the exhaust and to weld up the crossmember brace, as I had to clearance it so it wouldn't hit the oil pan. This video will be faster paced so that we can just cut to the chase. So let's get into it, shall we? I just dialed in the welder and did a practice pass on this piece of scrap. I like to just beat it with a hammer to see if the welds pop or crack. And you know, I'd say that floats the boat pretty good. So yeah, it's good enough for that. I reckon it's good enough for the rest of this and this here. So let's get cooking. The video is moving along pretty quick, but I got both the driver and passenger side of the exhaust all done. It's 3-inch stainless steel from the front to the back. I cut each of these pieces individually, adjusted them on my grinder wheel so that they fit together real good, and welded them all together. They are done, and these welds, they're nothing to write home about, but the odds of there being an exhaust leak on this thing are pretty minimal, which is what we want. So now just gotta move on to the next thing. Okay, so I just finished taking the engine out by myself. That was fun. Had it in there so that I could mock up the exhaust system and get it all welded. That's done. Now, the next thing is to finish putting together this crossmember brace. Here, let me turn this around and I can show you. I've got these end caps here that I've stenciled out with cardboard. I gotta cut those out real quick. What I did is I cut this down basically so that that rounded edge was almost flush, and then just welded it in so that it sits lower so that it doesn't hit the oil pan or the power steering bracket. So yeah, I gotta cut those out real quick and then burn them in. Let's do it. Sweet. This sucker is done, and those welds are uglier than sin, dude. Oh my gosh. Well, except for those ones. Those ones are kind of, nice. Not really. But yeah, just got to clean this up, spray some good tractor paint on there, clean up the rest of the engine bay so that I can install the engine for good. Perfect. Boop. On to the next. God, this is one of those things I really wish I filmed it. This is just after the fact, but I am 4 for 4 for extracting the friggin' bolts out of the front and rear holes that always snap off. Oh, that was so satisfying. I should have got it on video, but there it is. Just gotta get a couple more things squared away before I put the engine in. I gotta put this mount back in. I took it out so that I could weld this brace. Heat shield is in. I think other than this mount and replacing that mount there with a fresh one, that should be everything before I can put the engine in for good. Golly, so as I was welding, I caught my jacket on fire. Friggin' starting to look more and more homeless as this project goes along. But anyways, I got these engine mounts installed. I spent 45 minutes friggin' looking for that one. I swear I spend more time looking for these parts than I do actually fixing the truck. Probably it'd help if my garage wasn't such a hellhole mess. But anyway, we're ready to get this engine installed. Just got to roll this back and stab it in for good. Super exciting. Big milestone. Let's do it. All right, this video is more for me to remember the bolt pattern on this because I can never remember which one of these doesn't have a bolt hole, and then I psych myself out. All right, let's stab it in. Bang, bang, boom. She is in. So before I dive too deep into this, I just wanted to take a look at, you know, how I've notched this. There's plenty of room here now. These four-wheel drive trucks, but this crossmember is always a pain in the butt. But there's plenty of room there now if you notch it that way. And, you know, seems to work pretty good. So now I'm just gonna roll this forward so I can close the garage. And then we'll use some YouTube magic to get this all squared away. Oh, freaking sick, look at that. Oh, nice. Let's see if she starts up, shall we? I'm running this on a Terminator X that I took off of my other truck, so it should start right up, assuming I wired everything. Come on, baby, be good to me. Friggin' sick. She's alive. See if it's leaking anything. That's good. Nice. Friggin' sweet. All right, look at that. Well, that's just the bee's knees, man. Friggin' sweet. All right, well, it is late. I'm gonna go to bed. Now I just gotta fix everything else and put in the seat, and she'll be ready to go. Friggin' sick. Till tomorrow.